Hello, I'm Paddy from creativemedia.org.uk, and I've just sold this Roland Alpha Juno 1. I've had it for about 30 years and won't be having it for much longer. So I thought this is my last chance to make a little video showing you what kind of sounds it'll make and the features it has. It's a lovely little synth, brilliant sort of beginner's synth. I bought it, I think, when I was about age 15, and I really got into synths through having this. And it's very easy to program, very easy to use. So without much further ado, I've got a cold today, so the less talking I do, the better, and I'm sure you'll appreciate it too. So on with the synth. The most amazing thing about this synth is this dial, the alpha dial, which still isn't very common in synths, and I think it should be, because it's a wonderful invention. Many synths with assignable controllers use sliders, and if you've previously used it at 0, and then you've moved it up and down, controlling something, then you assign it to something else. If this slider was set to a value of 0, and you moved it, the value would jump to it'd be about 80 or 90 there. So you can't get a kind of smooth thing. What the alpha dial does, it has no end, you see, you can keep turning it as long as you like, and you turn it to the right, the value goes up. You turn it to the left, the value goes down. So you don't ever get a jump in your value, which is superb. The alpha dial is used to control everything. It takes a bit of time to get to your controls, but unlike many synths, there's not lots of pressing up and down buttons. You do everything just turning this. So I'll run through just some of the boring admin things it'll do. There's a tune controller there. You just press the tune function, turn it round, it goes up, it goes down. Nice and simple. You've got the modulation sensitivity, that's the modulation here. So you can control how wobbly that things go. You'll notice, unlike many synths which have a modulation wheel and a pitch wheel, this has a combined one. Pitch is left and right, and forward and back is modulation. You don't get the same kind of long control you get with many synths. But I'll turn it up a bit. But it is slightly graduated. It's more than just on and off, but it's very subtle because you've got very little movement there. So that is a bit of a limitation. We've got portamento control. There's a nice button for that. So that's called controls. And the bend length. I think I've got something weird going on with that one. Let's see if I can control that preset bend. I think I've got that controlled somewhere else. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. There's a foot controller socket, so you can control aftertouch, dynamics and volume with that, or one of the three you have to choose. You can switch the chord memory on with another socket, the pedal switch, which can control a number of different features here. Chord memory is, I'll show you that later, that's great, I love it. And that's all there is there. There's not zillions of different options. This was back in the days when you didn't have zillions of options. Again, I'll just go through the MIDI options. You can just watch those go fast. The thing with the synth is it's not actually velocity sensitive or aftertouch sensitive on the keyboard, unlike its older brother, the Juno 2, but all the internal stuff over MIDI is sensitive to aftertouch velocity. So if you want a smaller 4-octave keyboard that's cheaper, but has all the nice stuff over MIDI, the Juno 1's really great. It's a very small synth. It's small and light. It's like about a span across. It's pretty small, but well made. And this one's lasted me 30 years, still working. Keyboards are not weighted, but it feels nicer than a lot of synths. Let's show you the chord memory. The chord memory's great. You've got two buttons, portamento button and chord memory button. And basically you can just press chord memory and write, and then play a chord, and then when you press chord memory, you play tunes with that. You can get a massive big octave, and that's when you start hearing the kind of famous Juno sound. If I turn the portamento on, a bit of sound. And you've got these 4 buttons here, which are modulation rate, modulation depth, brilliance, and envelope time. And you can just press that and control the so with the chord memory as well, you can have fun with that. And the parameters, this is where you get into the programming of the thing. You've got a parameter button and a value button. Fairly self-evident. You can choose your parameter you want to edit, again using the alpha dial to spin through them, and then choose the value to actually alter that. So envelope time 1, for instance, I can control that. See from the table, all the it's basically a kind of ADSR envelope. You get time 1, level 1, time 2, level 2, and you can control all those. You've got your envelope range, and various other functions here. I'll just get that modulation down a bit. I'll just move through these so you can see what we've got. There's your bend range, which I was having trouble with earlier. Or you can have a more subtle bend. And you've got a choice of waves. Again, you can see these in the table. And you can have several at once. And there's a noise generator. It is a bit fiddly to find the parameter you want using the alpha dial. Obviously a synth like the Juno 106 or the Juno 60. I think the Juno 106 is the nearest thing to this synth that's actually properly analog with sliders everywhere. It's a lot easier, you just kind of control everything at once. PWM gives you a lovely kind of chorusy effect. And I think if you had used this modulation depth and rate controllers, they do alter these values. If I set them both to 100 and then fiddle with the 100, fiddle with that, see if that changes them. Gotta find them again. Yeah, there you go. So it's changed the rate there. I guess the depth will change the other one. These also changed the pitch oscillator too, if you've got that set to anything. And there's a high pass filter there as well. That's our brilliance. Again, the brilliance control will alter that one. And the all important resonance. It hasn't got any of the extreme kind of screaming resonant filters you get on some analog synths. But it gives you some fun sounds. and you can control that dynamically. The D means it uses the key strike dynamics, which of course I can't demonstrate on this non-velocity keyboard. And you can have a reverse one there as well. I'm going to find my sound again, there we go. That's me doing an oscillator on the frequency. So you can get some kind of dirty sounds like that. The chorus I find quite noisy. You probably can't hear it on this recording, but no, I can't hear it at all, but having the chorus on does make things a bit noisier. But it's very useful. There's no reverb or anything, it's a very simple, this was in the days before you got effects on keyboards. The key transpose, that's incredibly useful. You press the key, transpose, choose the key you want to transpose to, that's it. And you press middle C to go back to untransposed. You've got an octave transpose up and down button as well, and you can actually transpose down one octave with the key transpose. So you can get down quite low. Can you go? Oh, you can go up an octave as well. And that's pretty much it. There's not anything hugely complicated. I think I'll turn my mic off now and just go through some of the sounds, let you hear them. There are 64 preset sounds and 64 memory sounds you can write yourself. You must really love the Juno if you're still listening. Enjoy music, and try and get hold of one of these Junos if you can, if you still like them, because they're great. They're really nice. Okay, cheers.